Hari Om. So God alone exists. He alone is expressing as this entire world with all beings. He expresses through his twofold Prakriti, the Apara and the Para Prakriti. The Apara Prakriti is the Ashtada Prakriti, which constantly seem to be changing. And the Para Prakriti is the one which illumines it of the nature of consciousness. And together, God alone expresses. Just as the sun, when it shines in the waters, the water seems to be different, but the reflection is different. So reflection of the sun is more close to the sun. But the nature of water is not close to the sun. But water helps the sun to get reflected. Similarly, in that Apara and Para Prakriti, the Para Prakriti is more close, or Atma Rupa. It's more close to the nature of that supreme reality. So Bhagavan says that because of this Trigunatmika Maya, which is part of this Prakriti, all beings fail to recognize me. But one who surrenders to me, one who gives up all other identification and surrenders to me, comes to recognize oneself as of the nature of that Brahma. So, Mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. They cross over this Maya. So, though it is easy to identify with God because He alone is there, but still, because of this strong effect of this Maya, the three gunas, the jivas fail to recognize God and they fail to surrender. Bhagavan says those who are performing bad karmas, those who are very, very negative and having all negative values, those who don't have proper knowledge, and those who take support of the Asuri Sampatti, such people don't surrender to me. But there are 4 types of devotees who worship me, and they are Artha, Jnyasu, Artharthi, and Jnani. So, in these 4 ways or 4 types of people approach that supreme reality. When we need something, and when we don't find that it is available or cannot be obtained by the worldly means, then that person approaches God. Artharthi wants to obtain something, much physical, wealth or some position or some job or green card, whatever. So we want something tangible and we approach God. So that is Artharthi Bhakta. When we have anguish, when we have a lot of pain and suffering, sorrow, then also we approach God. Those are the Artha Bhakta. So Artharthi more at the physical level, Artha more at the emotional level. But there are those who have this question in their intellect. Various questions come. They are propelled by various thirst for knowledge. They want to know who is God, where is God, how He is, what is my nature. So they are propelled by their intellect and they approach God. And once they inquire and investigate and contemplate and meditate, they come to realize or they come to know about the nature of God. So they become the Jnani Bhakta. They are also called the yoga rood in the previous chapter. And they then put forth effort to gain direct experience of God, to gain direct that state of enlightenment. So these four types of devotees, Bhagavan says, are there, but out of them, the jnani is the supreme. Tesham jnani nitya yuktaha eka bhaktir vishishyate. He is constantly tuned to me, and the jnani has got this deep, firm conviction that there is only one, that supreme reality. Other than that, nothing else is there. And he is devoted to that and that alone. So Bhagavan says, for a jnani I am very dear, and he is very dear to me. Sacha mama priyaha. So here Bhagavan has praised the jnani a lot. So the question comes, what about the other three bhaktas? Are they not dear to God? In the next verse, 18th verse, Bhagavan says, Udara sarva evaite jnani tvatmaiva me matam astitas sahi yuktatma mamevānuttamām gatim udārā sarva evaite jnāni tvātmaiva me matam astitas sahi yuktātma mamevānuttamām gatim. He says, Udara sarva evaite, that all my devotees are very dear to me, they are very great compared to others. My devotees means those who are tuned to God, those who have intense love for God, who identify with Him, with whatever their intention, but their attention is on God. Our Pujya Gurudev says the love is measured by our identification. The more we identify, the more love we have. Complete identification, complete love. So Artha, Artharthi and Jidnyasu, they also identify, but their identification is not complete. They have their own personality as separate from God. They feel that I am different and God is different. God is meant to, fulfill my desires. God is there to remove me from all my troubles. My job is to get into trouble, and Bhagavan is there to protect me and bring me out of all my troubles. So they have a sense of difference because the real nature of God is not known. And majority of devotees fall into this category. Only a few are the jnani devotees. Generally, we have the feeling that I am different, God is different. Physically, we are different. Emotionally, we are different. But essentially, I and God are one. Once this Hanumanji also said, with respect to Ramchandraji, that deha drishtya tu dasoham. With respect to my body, I am your servant, he says. Jiva drishtya tvadamshakaha. With respect to my individuality, with identification with my body, mind, intellect and all, I am your amsha, I am your part. I am part and you are whole. But swarupataha tvamevaham iti me nishchitamatihi. But essentially, I and you are one only. There is no difference. So a jnani bhakta is one who understands or knows his identity with God, and with that knowledge he worships. He walks that path to gain ultimate oneness with God. So Bhagavan says, Udara sarva evaite, that all my devotees are very dear to me. But jnani tu atma eva me matam. But jnani is my own self. The jnani understands that the self, myself and God is one and same. So Bhagavan says, he is my own self only. There is no difference. He has recognized his self as me. Others, they identify with the body, mind, intellect and assume a false personality, a different personality, which appears to be different from God. But a jnani knows and he understands that I and God are one. Aham Brahmasmi. Jnani tu atma eva me matam. Therefore, he is more special and superior to other devotees. But this other, as I said, mentioned yesterday also, in whatever way we approach God, slowly and steadily we will reach the state of jnana. It is Bhagavan alone will see that we will attain that. One may begin the journey as artharthi, one may begin the journey as artha or as a jidnyasu, but slowly and steadily one will attain that. There is a very famous story you must have heard in Bhagavad Puran, wherein Bhagavan takes a little avatar, Vaman avatar, as a little batu. He comes and asks for 3 steps of land. So he comes as a little boy, but when he was offered that land, suddenly he assumes a huge cosmic form and takes away everything. That is the story of a devotee. One may bring in Bhagavan only for a short time in our life, in a little aspect of our life, maybe 5 minutes per day, maybe in some of our actions, maybe some of our relationship. But slowly and steadily, Bhagavan will come and occupy our entire life. He will take us in. So therefore Bhagavan says, all my devotees are very, very dear to me. They are great, they are wonderful. But jnani tu atma eva me matam. But jnani is my own self. Astita sahi yuktatma mameva anuttamam gatim. That jnani is one who is established in that state wherein he understands that I myself am of the nature of God. He has understood, he has made his mind, his intellect, his understanding such that I and God are one. He is established in that understanding, and with that understanding he moves and acts and performs all his karmas. See, only when we have this understanding of oneness, our actions will be of the nature of karma yoga. Our emotions or love will be of the nature of bhakti only. Our understanding will also be sublime. One has to keep this notion or understanding deeply in our heart. And that is what the jnani does. And ultimately, he attains that supreme state of enlightenment, because that is his goal. He is devoted to attain that state of enlightenment. He is not interested in anything else. It's like a lover wants to become one with his beloved. Like the Gangaji wants to become one with the ocean. It's the attraction is there, and the jnani is attracted in this way towards that Lord. Therefore, he says, he is my most wonderful devotee. Then what? After gaining this knowledge and becoming a great devotee, what happens to that jnani? A very important verse. Next verse, Bhagavan says, Bahunam janmanam ante ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति. बहूनां जन्मनाम अन्ते ज्ञानवान माम प्रपद्यते. Bahunam means after many lifetimes, person becomes Jnanavan. And after becoming Jnanavan, mam prapadyate, he surrenders to me. See, unless we know of the nature of God, we will not be able to surrender. It was said that only one who surrenders to me transcends this Maya. Mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. And only a jnani ultimately surrenders. He is the one, and this surrender takes place in the deep state of meditation. Surrender is not a physical activity. Surrender is not something emotional also. Surrender is not just some intellectual understanding. Surrender is much subtler than that, and it happens in the state of meditation. Bahunam janmanam ante, after many lifetimes of being a devotee of God, of walking this path of spirituality, and slowly and steadily gaining that understanding, becoming pure in his mind, pure in his actions, pure in his relationship, slowly and steadily a person, a seeker, gains knowledge. See, many people are interested in other things of life. Even on this path of, even those who are religious, they don't appreciate much the importance of knowledge. Knowing God and all, knowing God. Just you offer some puja, or you do some namaskar, or perform some special ritual and get the special benefit. Knowing God is a very strange concept. This knowing God is what is revealed to us in the Upanishads. But the Upanishads themselves are very rare for people to appreciate and understand. So after many lifetimes, one grows and evolves in such a way that in the final lifetime, one gains that knowledge. All of you have come here, so understand that this is a final lifetime only. The life which we have now itself, you take it as the final. Not that after this we have to take many life. But this itself one has to understand as the final. So janmanam, bahunam, janmanam, ante janmani, in the final last lifetime wherein we are totally devoted to God and have understood that the essential nature of me and God is one. That externally I may appear to be different. I may have a different experience also, but essentially I and God are one. When we have that firm conviction, then we become a jnani. When we are emotionally convinced, then we are at a lower stage of bhakti. But when we are not only emotionally but intellectually also convinced. So not only our head should be convinced, but our heart also should be convinced. We should be convinced with our head and heart that I and God are one, essentially. How many of you are convinced? Let us, even if you are not convinced, you raise your hand. That is the idea. Because after raising, at least some inspiration will come from within. Yeah. So the mind as well as the intellect both should get convinced about it. And that is what will happen when we study the scriptures, contemplate on it, apply it in our life, and follow this path sincerely, slowly and steadily, that conviction will come. And once that conviction will come, we will then become fit to surrender to God. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyate. Surrender means I will give up all my limited identity. I will give up my identification with my body, mind, intellect. Fearlessly, I will just surrender to that pure existence within me, pure consciousness and pure bliss. My little personality prevents me from surrendering to this Supreme Self, which is my own nature, my own self. So when I have that firm conviction, I will surrender. It's like even when you suppose you want to jump from one place to another. Only when you're convinced that yes, I can jump, that it is safe, you will try to jump, you will jump. Similarly, when I am convinced, I surrender. So, bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. And what is this Sharanagati? That Vasudevas sarvamiti. I get established in the understanding that the entire world is pervaded, is nothing but Vasudev only. Vasudev is that Brahma. Vasudev, one is Bhagavan Krishna's name, but Vasudev also means one who resides in all. सब में वास करते हैं, उनको वासुदेव बोलते हैं. One who resides in everyone's heart is called Vasudev. It's another name for Brahma. So one who surrenders to that Lord comes to realize that everything is Brahma alone. Sarvam khalvidam Brahma. Neha nanasti kinchana. Everything is Brahma. Other than Brahma, nothing else is there. One experiences, one feels, one what you call, one is totally established in it. One lives in God, one is totally immersed in God. Vasudevas sarvamiti, sa mahatma and sa durlabha. Bhagavan adds two more things. He says, such a person is called Mahatma. Generally, we use that term Mahatma to many people. Mahatma. Mahatma means one who has understood his Atma is Mahan, not confined to this little body only, that the entire cosmos is my own self. Such a person is called Mahatma. Otherwise, one is a limited Atma only. One thinks I am a little body. And such a person who has realized God is sudurlabha, is very, very rare. It's a rare phenomenon. Out of millions, as Bhagavan has said before, out of millions and millions of people, few walk this path. And out of all those who walk this path, only a few of them, they attain the final state of realization. Others are on the way. Others will also attain. Not that others are rejected. Others will also attain. But very few attain that state of ultimate realization, wherein one comes to know I and God are one. It's a most amazing experience or state, you can say. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Bhagavan Krishna, when he is speaking here, he is speaking as that Brahma only, as that supreme reality alone. He is not identified with his body. He is not speaking there as Krishna, but he is speaking as Bhagavan himself. So Vasudevas sarvamiti sa Mahatma sudurlabha. Therefore, we should strive to gain this knowledge, follow the path of Karma Yoga, Upasana, Jnana Marga, and then we have to meditate and come to gain that knowledge. And in the deep state of meditation, we gain that identification with God. We come to gain that what we call mystic experience of our oneness with God. Again, the question comes that what prevents us from surrendering or realizing God? Well, Bhagavan has already said, but now again he mentions in the next verse, what are the obstacles in our path, why we don't surrender to God? He says, Kamaistaistair hritajnanaha prapadyantenya devataha tam tam niyamamasthaya prakritya niyata svaya kamaistaistair hritajnanaha prapadyantenya devataha. The main thing which prevents us is our desires. Desires are rising constantly in the mind. The sense of I is there which identifies with these desires. See, I am different from my desires. I am different from my body. I am different from my mind. But that I consciousness identifies with these desires and considers them as my desires. It's like some object moves in front of you and you consider that as your own. Like if you are sitting near Gangaji and something comes floating there and you immediately pick it up and says, oh, it is mine. Similarly, these thoughts and desires keep coming in the mind, we identify with them and we want to fulfill those desires. Constantly, different types of desires keep coming in our mind. Depending on the quality of the mind, depending on the samskars of the past, different types of desires keep coming. Our great Rishi Munis have classified these desires also into various groups. 4 groups I have mentioned before also: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Desire for security, desire to protect ourselves, protect our own being, protect our body. That is the first essential desire. Then we have desire for pleasure, want to enjoy sensual pleasure. Then there is desire to be good, to be perfect, to be better, to improve our personality, our lot. And then there is desire for moksha. But generally we have these 3 types of desires only: Dharma, Artha, Kama. Dharma also is rare. Artha, Kama is more. And these desires are further classified into 3 main groups: desire for wealth, desire for progeny, and desire for some other loka. It's called Vitteshana, Putreshana, and Lokeshana. 3 types of popular desires of